Hey guys, today we're going to be going over a budget mutate list that I put together for my friend Andrew. Obviously, Omori is going to be the start of the deck. He is our companion, because everything in our deck is going to be a creature. He basically just makes it so all of our creatures cost one less. Our Boreal Grazer is ramp, plus he also gives anything we mutate on reach. Baby Godzilla reduces cost. I don't want to play too many of them because you will hurt yourself more with this card than it benefits you. Paradise Druid's just good ramp, plus it also gives us hexproof. Great Horn's ramp. Gem Razor. It destroys artifacts, enchantments, really good in this format. Batra's creature, planeswalker removal, also really good. Insatiable Hemophage is going to be our life gain and damage dealer at the same time. Mutate enough, they'll just die. Cavern Whisper's kind of cool. He just makes it so you discard a card, so he's kind of whatever. Then there's the best card in this deck, the Auspicious Sterix. So basically, whenever we mutate with him, he'll exile the top X cards of our library, and he'll play any of those permanents we find. And since every card in our deck is a permanent, he will flip and play everything we flip for free. So let's go ahead and get into some games here. I should probably turn off Historic. I was playing that earlier. It's been a bit of a longer queue time lately. Usually it's not hard to find a match. There we go. Looks like our first opponent's going to be Sammy Gina? I don't know how to say that. This would be a pretty okay hand. We're going to have to mulligan, though. This is definitely way better. I'll drop the Batra. It costs a lot. So we don't need it right now. Hopefully we draw into Great Horn is the hope here, because the best play in this deck early is Arboreal Grazer into Migratory Great Horn, because then we can attack with it turn 2 and be ramped up to 4 lands on turn 2. Looks like opponent had to mill as well. Luris, yep, almost always means cycling or some kind of sacrifice deck. Luckily, though, we will have the advantage here, as we will be at 3 mana. Turn 2. Valiant Rescuers, so we're going to see a go-wide strategy here. Fortunately, we don't see anything to mutate onto the Grazer, but we will have Omori next turn. And it looks like they're just playing out their cycling stuff. Call Creature. They'll just hold up blockers. So this is modified to 5 now, so next turn we can mutate, kill something. In this matchup, I'm a little concerned about basically being overwhelmed with damage, and I probably want to mutate onto the Paradise Druid just because it'll have hexproof. Ooh, that's really tempting. But we're going to have to do this first, because I need to get that Draenith Stinger off of the board. If I don't draw my life gain creature, then the ping damage from that will just be too big to handle. No attacks. Oh, we have no reason to attack. I could attack with Batra, but if I tap it, it will lose hexproof, which means that he could go for blood, or he could Zenith Flare the Batra, and we don't want that, because we want to stack our mutate as much as possible. The more we mutate, the bigger everything gets. This next turn we should be able to wipe him and make him discard out his hand, so that's going to be really good. This deck slows down a lot when it runs out of cards. There he goes reading Dirge Bat. He might try to swing in, but there's no point. He can't kill anything. Okay. So we're going to start with mutating the Cavern Whisperer. We want it over. Fortunately, we'll lose our Batra art, but this is bigger. I want to destroy the Draenith Stinger, and then force him to discard a card. This will probably bait out whatever cycling he held up. Yep, there it is. And then we'll go for Mutate again. This time we'll go under. With Mutate, you could put it over or under the creature. Usually you want to keep whatever the highest power toughness is on top. We'll go ahead and kill his Rescuer here, and we will go find ourselves another forest. Then I will swing in with Umori, because he can't hold up enough. There's not enough damage here to kill Umori, so I'm not really worried about it. This next turn is probably just him playing Lurrus, and then playing a cycling card out of his graveyard. Did he drop a Fox? No, he did not, so he hasn't drawn it yet. Zenith Flare for 8 is good. If he draws another one, that's going to be lethal, unfortunately. I can't do too much about that. That's incredibly interesting. I guess he's decided it's better to swing in. Alright, and we see the best card in our deck. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Mutate, the Auspicious Sterix. We'll go ahead and put it over. We'll go ahead and kill that. We'll get another forest. You only ever need one island. You need 2 swamps at a minimum. The rest can be whatever. Perfect. We actually see the Hemophage. So we will go ahead and mutate on top of that so we do not die to another card. Yeah, unfortunately, this is why I don't like Baby Godzilla too much, because the draw discard is forced. I do not have a choice. From here, we should win. Oh, crap. That's right. It only mutated once. So we could still die if he top decks Zenith Flare here. He should lose next turn, regardless. Well, he got something, but he's holding it. It's probably another Zenith Flare. If he's playing like this, okay, it's Boon of the Wishgiver. If he keeps drawing cycling cards, we're going to be in trouble, but he doesn't have the mana to play Zenith Flare anymore. Yep, and opponent scoops it up. So you see the power of Auspicious Sterix, just playing a bunch of free stuff. It's pretty insane. Paradise Druid is a definite must-have in this deck. Okay, let's go into game 2. Okay, we're fighting Digital Ari Man. This has all of our colors, but there's no ramp. I think this hand might just be. This is good if we resolve a Great Horn, but it's another Omori deck, so this is more than likely the mirror match. I'm gonna have to mulligan it. This is still worse. No green, gonna have to mulligan that too. Okay, this is unfortunately we don't have a choice anymore. Gonna have to play this out. Dual lands really help this deck. It can get really bad if you don't see the correct colors. Yep, opponent's going to see that first. That's a land I considered for this list. Even in the list that I run with the dual lands, I don't think I run this. It's not super necessary. Plus, I just don't like tap lands in general. Shock lands are the way to go. Fast lands are always really just good in any situation. I don't know what him hovering this indicates. He shouldn't have removal this early, unless he's playing a bad version of this. But considering he's playing Paradise Druid, he can only have creatures in his main, so I definitely don't know what this is supposed to be indicating. But I will go ahead and do this, just because it gets a Mutate out. We start drawing cards. Make him discard something. Alright, we make him discard a Gem Razor. That's pretty good. The question becomes, do I offer him the trade? I think I can, but let's see. This costs 5 to play. Costs 4 to play. Costs 5 to mutate. So I can't play it next turn. If I swing with this, he has to double block, if he blocks at all. Yeah, let's go ahead and offer it. I don't need it that horribly, because I'll just play Amori, and opponent wants his Paradise Druids, which is smart. This is the best mutate target in the deck, honestly, to start stacking on, just because you can't interact with this, unless they swing with it. Yep, opponent goes for Dirgebat, and we're going to have to play from behind now. We're going to have to majorly play from behind, which is bad. Yeah, this matchup usually comes down to whoever sees creature removal first, because this deck loses pretty badly to creature removal. Okay, just gonna cast. It looks like he's just gonna cast a Mori here, which I'm hopeful for. Nope, he has a Mutate, so we will lose a Mori, which is unfortunate. We'll probably have to scoop it up here in a second. Perhaps not. We got an Arboreal Grazer here. If I try to mutate this now, it's not a good target anyway, so we'll just hold it. He's probably just going to mutate and kill it anyway, so wasting resources is not really a good idea. Parcel Beast is a card you can play in this deck. I don't really like it because it requires you to tap it to use its ability first off, and it doesn't add anything to the card. Like, it's a 2/4 stat line with no abilities. It just doesn't really do anything. Okay, we'll go ahead and play the Cavern Whisperer and hope that he does not top deck a Mutate card. Okay, it's not a land, so that is pretty bad. That probably means he got a Mutate. It definitely guarantees he got a Mutate, yep. So what's the hope here? I don't think we come back from this. I think this is just insurmountable. Yep, we just lose. So we will scoop it up here. Mirror match, probably just going to come down to who sees that ramp first. Plus we had to mull twice, so it was just unfortunate. Alright, and we will go to the ever intense Game 3. This deck can be incredibly oppressive, especially if you play around removal. The hardest thing you'll ever have to do with this deck is play your Mutate chain on something that isn't Paradise Druid, because if it doesn't have hexproof, you could lose everything to like the most minor removal. It's crazy. This is way too slow of a hand. This is a much better hand. We'll get rid of Batra. Alright, we'll start out with the Arboreal Grazer. We'll play the island this time. It doesn't matter which lane you play second. And we will see the best turn 2. Now, since our Boreal Grazer was already on the field, we'll go ahead and get a swap here. We'll go. It is allowed to attack, though it becomes Migratory Greyhorn, because they're the same creature, which is what I really enjoy about Mutate. Is this is all one creature, which is just amazing. This looks like it might be a Jeskai Fires deck, which means we probably have like 1 to 2 turns before they play a board wipe. Okay, no, this is definitely a Winata deck. Now I no longer have any doubt in my mind, which means that... Oh crap, double Alside. That's bad. We'll go ahead and play the Baby Godzilla because it lets us filter. Then... So this costs 4. But we don't have 4. This costs 2. We'll go ahead and play the Cavern Whisperer so we can get lands. Okay, easy discard. Never want more than one of this. Go ahead and get another forest. Once you see your double black in your island, you just always usually just search for forests. We're going to try to go as wide as possible here. Unfortunately, this is going to be the Winata turn, and they're going to play like probably every copy of Agent of Treachery from their deck. So this is probably where we just lose. There's not a whole lot you can do against Winata. It's really unfortunate. Oh, he played a tap land. We have another turn. It's probably... Oh, hey, it's Teferi. That's interesting. Oh, yes, please. Please bounce our beloved cards back to our hand. That's excellent for us, because now we can cycle our Arboreal Grazer without any kind of concern. And now we can start the Paradise Druid chain instead, which is way better. Go ahead and grab a swamp. I will keep this because I can kill the enchantments with it. Discard our Grazer. We don't need it. Killing the Allside is good. Yeah, I don't need him to have Teferi, but I need those Allsides dead for sure. I can't let those stay alive. Yeah, I think it's willing. I'm willing to mutate this. Okay, and we will discard Cavern Whisperer because Auspicious Sterix is probably the best card we have. Okay, we will destroy a creature or planeswalker. So we will go ahead and destroy the Soldier token because we do not want their Winata to resolve anything at all. It will automatically destroy the enchantment because of Gemraiser, and then we will swing both of these at Teferi, basically ensuring that no matter how they block, it will die. Cool. So now we have set up pretty much perfectly against this. The only hope they could possibly have is to Play the Mutate here, swing with the soldier. They don't have Winata, so we win. That's amazing. That would have been really scary if they'd seen Agent of Treachery on turn 4 to steal our Mutate chain. You know what? That was a pretty fast game. I think we'll do a fourth one this time. This is probably my favorite deck out of the new Ikoria format. I just like Mutate as a mechanic in general. It's really fun. Just imagine build your own monster. This is pretty insane. Plus, All Spacious Sterix is probably just one of the best cards out of the whole set. Okay, so we do have the Baby Godzilla, but we don't have any of our other colors, and this is really awkward. Okay, this is much better. We will probably dip the Cavern Whisperer because we can play All Spacious Sterix pretty early. I was actually playing a Commander game the other day where my buddy Tristan ended up playing the Auspicious Sterix in his Mutate deck, and then somebody killed both my commander and another creature I had instead of killing this, and I got really angry at him because I was like, do you not know how big of a threat this is? And then he proceeded to mutate on it multiple times, and it was just not a fun time for anybody. He flipped his whole deck over. So I'm going to actually go ahead and play Anguirus here, because we can keep Hexproof up. And this does allow us to kill all side and the all that glitters at the same time. I could attack here. However, the chances that they have something that would threaten this is pretty big, so I'd rather not risk it at this time. Okay, we'll go ahead and play Omori. Call creature. And probably just pass the turn. I don't want to attack with this because once we resolve Auspicious Sterix, everything's just going to start happening very quickly. The only thing I would really fear here is a Shatter the Sky, but it looks like he might just not have that. So this costs 5, and we only have 4, so we're going to use Great Horn this turn. And we'll actually go ahead and get our island that we don't have, so we can play Baby Godzilla. And I don't need an Arboreal Grazer, so I will swing with Omori. Opponent down to 19. We'll pass. I guess they just didn't have anything playable. That was very weird. Opponent scoops it up. That was another fast one, so actually, you know what? Let's do a 5th game. So most people on Arena are pretty familiar with this deck. If you see an Omori as the companion 9 times out of 10, this is what's going to be the deck. It's going to be the creature-only Mutate build. Mutate variants can happen. I've seen a 5-color Omori deck before that ran all of the Mutate cards. It was kind of interesting. But for the most part, if you see Omori, it's going to be this variant of the deck. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room in the deck. Most of what you'll wiggle around with is the mana base. But it's mostly just shock lands, which makes this deck pretty expensive sometimes. This hand is really slow, and it does not have a ramp card in it. But it does have Great Horn. Our opponent's playing Yorion, so this is probably too slow. Okay, this isn't much better, but it's definitely better than what we have. I might actually ditch the Baby Godzilla. Yeah, I'm going to end up ditching the Baby Godzilla. It's just too slow here, because I don't have any blue. I can't hold it in my hand hoping I get blue. Okay, and we will go ahead and ramp to 2 here, and then hope that we actually draw land. Because if we draw land, we can go into Great Horn and have a good time. Okay, so this is tier 0 meta right here. This is Yori and Luca. Unfortunately, we will not find the land, which is probably going to be the death of us here, because in about 2 turns, this guy's going to play... Luca. He's going to turn this into an Agent of Treachery. Alright, we see it, but it is unfortunately too late. We are going to be playing from behind now. Yep, and now we just enter in all of the bad territory here as he just starts rattling off planeswalkers. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's interesting, I've almost never seen this deck run Solar Blaze. That's pretty intriguing. We'll go ahead and get a second swamp. I don't really need to get an island here. There's no reason for it. This is more than likely the Luca turn, and he'll steal the Great Horn, and that'll probably be the end of us, unfortunately. He's probably digging for it. Yeah, this dude's just getting everything. Yep, so we're going to have to unfortunately concede this because he's going to hit Agent of Treachery, he's going to steal our Great Horn, and we'll have no way to stop this, so... Well, I hope everybody had as much fun playing this deck as I had. Unfortunately, we ran into the most degenerate decks in the format twice. Winata and the Luca, Yorian. They're really irritating, but, you know, this deck is pretty fun. Obviously, you'd run way less basics if you wanted to run dual lands. You can run tap lands. They do work with Arboreal Grazer a lot better than shock lands, but shock lands are just faster, so it allows you to play this quickly, because the faster you get off Auspicious Sterix, the more probable you are to just win. Alright, well, that's it for me. I'll see y'all on the next one.